Helping countries build the capacity to run their economies in an effective way is the main goal of technical assistance and training, also known as capacity building.
Technical assistance and training are two very important activities of the IMF. It's not necessarily in the headlines every day, but it's one of the most popular and very important tasks that we have.
In partnership with donors and member countries, the IMF has, over the past 6 years, developed technical assistance to 90% of its membership, and virtually the entire membership has benefited from training. Technical assistance is provided in IMF's core areas of expertise, including the management of public finances, tax policy, banking regulation and supervision, law and statistics. It is delivered via staff visits, regional centres and resident specialists. A key feature of technical assistance is that it is demand-driven and tailored to the specific needs of a country or region. Training is offered to country officials through hands-on courses in Washington, D.C. and at regional centres, workshops and seminars. It helps participants analyse economic developments and learn useful tools. It also helps in the design and implementation of effective policies that reduce vulnerabilities. The IMF's member countries, which had grown to over 100 by 1964, were by then asking for technical assistance and training from the IMF to better adapt and thrive within a rapidly changing and increasingly complex global economy. Similarly, in the 1990s, many Eastern Bloc countries that were transitioning to a market-based system relied on the IMF to help develop the policy-making capacity to run their economies. More recently, the major beneficiaries of technical assistance and training have been Sub-Saharan Africa, parts of Asia, and also post-conflict countries.
Cambodia, for instance, has had the benefit of technical assistance after the disaster of the Khmer Rouge. Timor-Leste has had the benefit of technical assistance as well in order to get the country back on its feet. And Kosovo has had the benefit of technical assistance as well.
In Cambodia, during the Khmer Rouge regime from 1975 to 1979, the banking system was abolished and currency was outlawed. Retired art professor Chan Sim has lived through 5 different regimes. At 76, he remembers the plight of many Cambodians during the occupation.
Under the Khmer Rouge, there were no banks. During the uprising, we did not have any money to spend. We could only exchange rice and the fish we caught, or whatever we had. We could only barter because there was no currency.
After the fall of the Khmer Rouge regime, the country slowly reverted back to an economy based on money. To handle this challenging transition, the National Bank of Cambodia turned to the IMF for assistance and training on how to run, regulate, and supervise banks. Neve Chantana remembers how the IMF helped during those early days when Cambodia was picking up the pieces and rebuilding its economy.
They start from scratch, from zero. They have no human resources, no financial resources. People were nervous and they don't know how to start it. We received TA, especially from the IMF, to build the capacity of the staff, the framework, especially the legal framework.
On a separate continent, Peru's National Superintendency of Tax Administration sought help from the IMF with funding from SECO of Switzerland in managing its tax collection problem, which led to a large revenue loss and affected Peru's ability to provide basic public services. To address some of these challenges, the IMF's technical assistance and training helped boost Peru's revenues by improving tax collection and implementing effective data management and treasury operations. Tanya Quispe explains.
In
the first half of this year, tax collections have remained positive because we've been able to offset revenues generated from other sectors with high levels of evasion, sectors that we've been controlling better. We are very pleased with the results. The idea is to forge ahead with support from SECO and the International Monetary Fund, which will be fundamental.
Peru has been moving ahead and making sure that the money generated from taxes is also spent on infrastructure development and social programs that benefit the disadvantaged. Milagros Alvarado heads the Juntos program for the poor, which is state-supported and financed by revenues generated through improved tax collection.
Juntos is a program that is financed 100% through funds from the public treasury, which are obtained through improvements in economic development and from tax collection. The main purpose is to promote access to health and education services for the poorest households in the country.
The measure of the program's impact will be seen for generations to come.
As we've seen in the case of Cambodia and Peru, capacity building requires constant adaptation to meet the evolving needs of IMF's diverse membership. In the wake of the financial crisis, more demands have been made on technical assistance and training to identify weaknesses in the financial systems of member countries, including advanced and emerging economies. To address these demands, the IMF has taken steps to increase delivery. For example, the support given by member countries has increased exponentially, which is increasing the IMF's presence worldwide. And for the first time, the IMF is providing training courses online, making them available to broader audiences free of charge. Many donors have contributed to these efforts. The activities of two large donors, Japan and Switzerland, are highlighted here. Other large donors include the European Commission, Canada, United Kingdom, Kuwait, and Australia. Thanks to support from these and other donors, the fund is carrying out what its founders intended: an IMF that promotes international monetary collaboration, peace, and stability.